Greetings, YouTube. Today we're going to talk about the Gerber F.A.S.T. draw, fast draw. And here is the knife in question. Now, I purchased this because it was a button lock, and I actually don't own a button lock. I've got a Milwaukee utility knife, which has a button lock on it, but it's not quite the same. I wanted to own a pocket knife that had one. And this is a... I thought it was aesthetically pleasing, so I thought I'd pick it up. You have handles here, and they're not G10, I don't know what they are. Maybe they're glass and reinforced nylon. And they're a little on the slick side, but not horrible. And you got a single position pocket clip, which again, you know me, I prefer multiple position pocket clips. But it's a position I like. I like this particular position, so that's cool. It has Gerber written here on the clip. Now here is the lock in question. It's angled. You can see it right there. So when you go in to push on it, it's pushed in the right direction. At the moment, that's in the locked position. So we'll move forward. And now you can see a red dot saying that it's no longer locked and it is now ready to fire. And I say fire because it is a assisted opening knife and it's got a nice snap. It isn't, however, the fastest knife I own. Now, I don't normally talk about the speed of assisted opening knives because I'm not really all that interested in the speed of most knives, assisted opening or not. However, when you put it in the name of your knife, I am going to take note of the speed, how it opens. And I own other assisted opening knives that are faster than this. In fact, I own a couple of manual knives that open faster than this with a good thumb flick. So I don't know if they wanted to call this put that in the name, man, because you just called it the Gerber draw, and you wouldn't have been drawing attention to the fact that it maybe isn't the fastest knife in the universe. There you have the Gerber logo, and I don't think you have anything else on this side. No, I guess you don't. It's semi-closed construction. And here we're going to talk about the blade, which is what everybody cares about. Nice little swedge. It's got a nice shape. Came out of the box with a nice edge. I was quite impressed. Oh, schmutz on my bench. Came out of the box. Quite usable. This is a very good size. And if you want to, as you just saw me, you can lock it in the open position if you want. And we want to close it. You push up on that. And you close it. Now, it's got a pretty decent torsion bar in there, and it's definitely a two-hand close because when you're using, let me give you a demonstration. Am I unlocked? I am unlocked. Okay. When you have a liner lock, your finger is here. So you push it that way, and then you can bring your finger down and close it. But when you're doing a button lock, my thumb's way down here. So when I close it, my fingers are in the completely wrong position to close that blade. So I have to use my other hand. That's not going to bother some people. It is going to bother others. To me, I think having a knife that I can't easily close with one hand is a downside. However, this is an incredibly comfortable knife. The shape of this handle with all these really nice curves, even though it's flat and it's not really three-dimensionally contoured, everything is nicely rounded. It has a nice overall sensation in your hand. It's not too big. As I've told people in the past, I want like a 3-inch blade, 3¼ inch blade. And this really meets my needs. And even though it doesn't have a deep joil here to keep your fingers from moving forward, this little ramp here and this little bit of a jimping does afford you a little more security. And I'm not going to be doing a lot of heavy cutting with this. You know, this is a pocket knife that I would be using for daily tasks. And I did carry it for a week or so, and I really did like its overall performance. The only downside for me was the fact that it really had to have a two-hand carry. And this is got a flat grind here with a secondary bevel. But it's a really nice-looking knife. And if, for example, if they'd made it a flipper as opposed to a thumb stud, that would have pushed it up a little bit, and it would also made it slightly safer because this blade tip, this right here, would have come down a little further to act as a guard. The shape is nice, and I think it would look aesthetically pleasing if it were a flipper. The button lock is something I'm glad is in my collection, but again, having to do that as opposed to being able to close it with one hand you know what I mean? It's not what I'm looking for. Even though it is, I want to do that, and I can't do that. You know, even though it is carrying it in the position I like, which is tip up. So it's close to the kind of thing I want to carry on a daily basis, but not quite what I want to carry on a daily basis. But the button lock is nice. It's a nice feature, and it's shown me that I like button locks. So I'm going to be able to know, and I see a button lock available somewhere at a price I'm willing to pay, I'm going to go buy it because this knife has shown me that I think the button lock feature has some merit, even though in this particular knife it didn't meet all of my needs. But I'm going to give it another try. If someone has a slightly different design, maybe further up on the blade, so that I can close it with one hand, further up in the handle, I should say, so I can close it with one hand. So overall, I definitely think that for the fans of Gerber knives out there, this is something you may want to consider. People who like button locks, this is maybe something you consider. And if you're looking for a nice, decent overall carry knife that isn't too much, it isn't too big, it's not going to intimidate people, I think that the the Gerber F.A.S.T. Draw could be something you'd be interested in.